Double penetration. I love DPs.
Like double penetration.
Some double penetration.
Double penetration on your own with some solo play.
Hello, and welcome to the Double Penetration Podcast. Here are your hosts, Creep and Steele.
Hey, Mr. Chris Steele! No.
I thought you were going to keep going.
Nope. I was just saying, hey.
Hey, what up, though?
Hey, what's up?
Just cutting up some rails and doing a whole bunch of lines of cocaine.
Oh, nice. You know what I'm doing?
No, what?
I'm doing this really cool podcast. It's called Double Penetration Podcast. Maybe you've heard of it. There's a guy there with your name. It's super weird.
I've heard that guy's a real emotional asshole.
Yeah, I heard that too.
He's a prick.
I heard that girl Creep isn't much better.
She's a bit of a cunt, but hey. Who am I to judge?
Oh, God.
Is it uncomfortable? I don't know, but let's just make it fun.
Who knows?
That's right, folks. This is the Double Penetration Podcast. There's no uncomfortability here, no assholes, cunts, but there is dicks and pussy. Well, dick and pussy. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Trying to liven the mood.
Oh, God.
Spice things up a bit. We're going to talk about an interesting thing. A little thing called emasculation.
Oh, yeah. Do you know anything about that, Mr. Chris Steele? Have you ever been emasculated?
Yes, I have. I have been with women that have tried to emasculate me, and I let them do so for a few years, and then I finally break it off.
Damn.
You know, I was a bit of a bitch when I was a young, semi-ugly, but somehow still got girls way out of his league type of guy. And that still stands today. Because my wife is way out of my league, but...
Honestly, your wife be banging as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Am I allowed to say that?
You can.
Sweet. Your wife's hot as shit. And she's, like, super pretty. You know how it's, like, hard to find a girl who's, like, pretty and also, like, super hot? Like, you know how usually it's, like, one or the other, kind of? I don't know if that's, like, fucked up and somebody's gonna get pissed that I said that, but oh well. But your wife's, like, really pretty and banging.
Well... It would
like,
be...
and she has a good personality. Like, she's fucking perfect.
She is pretty perfect.
I always thought I got guys way out of my league, and then I looked back on them, and I'm like, oh, God, wow.
So you're agreeing.
You know what I'm saying?
You know. I mean, I've always dated out of my league. I mean, that could be a cool topic someday to talk about, especially if we had pictures for references. So friends,
oh my God, yes, we should do that for sure.
If any of you friends out there want to talk about dating out of your league and your current gal or guy, you know, send us a picture of you two and we'll have a good laugh at you.
Oh, I love it.
But there's nothing wrong with dating out of your league. I mean, I'm married.
No, I mean, I think it's interesting too when people are like, "Oh, he's out of my league," and you look and you're like, "Not really," but like, okay.
Well, I mean, I always know that I'm out of my league, but I think girls that I dated in the past were more damaged, so it was easy to kind of date out of my league. Crazy chicks are easy to date. Well, not easy to date; they're pains in the ass, but they're fun to date. But
I was just talking about that on my Snapchat earlier.
And then you
guys should add me on Snapchat at CreepQueenXXX.
We didn't even hit the fucking plugs.
No.
And then you can follow me on the Twitter at Mr. Chris Steele. We have a fucking Twitter for the show, Double P Show, and then doublepodcast.com and Double P Podcast on Instagram,
and my Twitter is like CreepXQueen or whatever, and like you can go to my website at creepqueen.com or like whatever. You could also like subscribe to our show on iTunes, but whatever.
Yeah, and I just want to say
I've been giving her my penetration of doggy style.
Hi, Gabba.
I love Gabba.
Gabba's a good dude.
Oh my god.
But
You know what else they can do?
what can they do?
They can listen to us on Demon Seed Radio Network every Saturday night at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. where
Eastern
you're hearing us now.
Standard Time.
What is the West Coast time? 8 p.m. Is that 5 or is it 4?
6, 7, 8, 5, 6,
Are they,
5,
are they
6,
4?
7, 8. Maybe 5, I think.
Shamil. Shamazel.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know time zones. I know Eastern and I know Central because Central's an hour behind Eastern, and anything after that, I don't fucking know.
Then it's like, I don't think there's a 2 hour. I think there's just a 1 hour and a 3 hour, right?
Well, what's mountain time?
You know, there's like,
because there's mountain time.
Is that 2 hours? I don't know.
so.
I get really confused. And then I was looking up time zones, and there's like time zones that I didn't even know existed, like west, north, south mountain. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who lives there? Like,
oh, you could tell that you're a xenophobe.
It's like, why are there like, there's like literally like 12 fucking time zones. It makes no sense.
Well, I don't travel outside of the United States, and I sure as fuck don't travel past Chicago. Well, I did go to Iowa once, but that's for another day.
I see you.
Ooh, somebody's getting in trouble.
He's fucking shit up and looked at me like, oh, fuck, she's looking at me.
Creek Queen has a son. But y'all
He's so
didn't
cute.
know.
I don't deserve him.
It's a little gray kitty cat. His name's Bob.
Oh my god. You know when cats do the pouncy thing, but then they like wiggle their butt?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like everybody's favorite thing, right?
Yeah, I love
Because
that.
it's so fucking cute. He's been doing it like all the time lately, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, wiggle it. So cute.
You should just take your spare Creek Queen phone and constantly keep video rolling on him. I said you should keep video rolling on him with your spare camera.
It's so bad.
I'm breaking up.
No,
No?
I just didn't hear you.
Oh. But let's get into this topic. Emasculating men. See, how it came about for me is as a young guy dating girls out of my league. And I think, I honestly think the reason why maybe that they were so persuasive and I was so easily emasculated was the fact that, yeah, I'm dating this very good-looking girl.
Really? So you were like intimidated and just like, okay, yeah, I'll do it.
I'm like, yeah, you can...
Like that?
Well, no, it was them like asserting their, like trying to assert their dominance. Not in like the emasculation fetish way, because there's also the emasculation fetish way, the clinical way, and a whole other sorts of ways.
A whole slew of them.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about emasculation because here I thought just emasculation meant just like, you know, a girl being like, you can't hang out with your fucking friends. That type of shit.
I don't think I've ever emasculated anybody.
You don't think so?
I think I've been emasculated.
There's no such thing as emasculating women.
But why not? Like I'm a very masculine.
Oh, so now we're gonna get into
female.
the whole feminism thing. Now, like you're a girl, so you can be emasculated too.
No, I'm just a really masculine female. Like
I don't know. I mean, that's maybe that's
like I mean, not in like a oh my god, I'm a feminist and like oh my god, equal rights, girl power, whoa. But like
she threw up a
I'm
peace sign.
just like literally like not a very feminine type of gal, like at all. Well,
I mean, you're a pretty girl, if I can say that without being, you know, a weirdo. Why does it look like you're taking off all your
what
clothes?
a weirdo! I'm taking my bra off.
Oh. But no, you're still like a girly girl in the sense like you wear makeup.
But like barely, you know what I mean? And,
yeah, but
like,
you're like a
really,
fringe.
Give a fuck about my hair and like clothes. Like I wear
Bullshit, you
fucking
don't
boy
care
clothes
about
most
your
of the fucking time. Like I don't have that like feminine like personality like at all. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, this isn't about me, but I'm just saying like.
But your hair is feminine. You know?
My hair like hasn't been washed in like 13 fucking days. Like
well, you know. Sometimes the natural grease helps it sit better.
But roots.
Oh, that's true. Your roots are showing.
When I took my ponytail out earlier and it just like stayed like that.
You had 13 days of butter in your hair. You could have wrung out your hair and made candle wax.
Oh my god. That would be amazing. Anyways, where are we beginning on this emasculation journey? I kind of like that.
The emasculation journey?
Emasculation.
Well, did you know that if you're a gal and you're emasculating your man, that is destructive behavior?
Like abusive?
I would think that I would...
Like...
I don't know. I mean, it
or
would...
just like... Would it, like, toxic?
It's toxic. I wouldn't necessarily say it's abusive.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that I was abused by my exes because they emasculated me.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was kind of like looking for your like opinion thought process.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. I mean, I only got hit by one of my girlfriends a couple times, so
totally fine.
Yeah, you know,
we've all been there.
Yeah, I deserved it apparently.
A little black eye, choked out, totally cool.
Right. I didn't get a black eye. I got scratches on my back and punched in the kidneys.
That's hot.
No, it's not. I pissed blood because I got punched in the kidneys. She fucking came up and like, right in the kidneys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's fucking crazy.
Good sex, though?
No.
What? Crazy bitches always have the best sex.
No, she's a prude.
You can't be crazy and a prude. Like, that just doesn't work, like, at all. That's like being ugly and having no personality. Like, you can't do that. Like...
Wow. I mean, you know.
You've got to have something to go off of. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I get that, but, you know. She had a good personality, but she just was a prude, you know. Yeah, don't touch my butthole.
Oh, rude.
Yeah, it's like, come on, let me lick your asshole a little bit. It's nice and clean. No? You're a prude. That's the way I base things on. If you don't like your asshole licked, you're a prude.
I feel that.
I mean, you should probably send out a tweet poll. Are you a prude?
You like your asshole licked?
Yeah. Are you a prude if you don't want your asshole licked? Yes or no? I say yes.
I'm going to do that.
It's a good poll. I mean, unless you're real dirty and you know it, but then you go take a shower, clean up, bada boom, bada bing. Toss some salad.
Like, I love eating asshole. Like, I hella love eating asshole. Like, I love getting my tongue all up in a little asshole. Like, I don't give a fuck. But there's some guys I just, like, wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't even, like, put my tongue through a straw and put the straw in his ass and blow. Like, I wouldn't even do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I feel the same way about all men. So I know how you feel. But, yeah, you know, if you're emasculating a man, I think that what you're doing is, like I was joking before, like, if you're a girl and you get jealous that your guy goes out with his buddies or whatever, and you're texting him and just making him feel like shit, and then, you know, all his buddies want to stay out later, but he goes home and comes back to you because, you know, you don't trust him. You know how many times I had to hear that? I don't trust you. I've never cheated once.
really?
I've never given off the vibes that I've ever wanted to cheat. Like, even when
I was talking about this earlier too. Weird. Oh my god.
like, even when like I knew the relationship was just shit and I knew it was days away from ending and I probably could have cheated, I still never cheated because it never crossed my mind. It wasn't something that I did.
That's so weird.
Even at the
I've
very
cheated on
end.
so many people.
Well, you know, you're a creep.
I mean, I wouldn't now, but like when I was little, yeah. But they were all cheating on me too. Like we knew we were both cheating. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, but you also grew up in a different era. You know, I'm 10 years older than you, so things were a little bit
I would never
different.
cheat now. And if anybody ever cheated on me now, I'd fucking kill him. So there's that.
Well, you know.
Like, whatever. No biggie. Little bloodshed. Totally
Shit.
cool.
Well, I hate to let you know that I'm starting a podcast with another cam girl, porn model.
Yeah?
No.
I'll kill that bitch.
We're going to talk about...
What's her name? I'll kill that bitch.
We're going to talk about video games and Elvira.
Oh my god. I would be so offended. I would kill both of you.
Don't you emasculate me by telling me you're going to kill me. That's abusive behavior.
Do you think, okay, on topic but off topic, do you think you can emasculate yourself? Like, is this something that we're going to get into, or like...
Okay, well, if you're looking at it as the fetish, emasculation falls more under the feminization. So I think if you're one of these types of guys that enjoys dressing up like a lady in your, you know, masturbatory sessions, you know, I guess you're emasculating yourself if that's what you're into. You know, it's the whole fetish community. So I guess you can emasculate
not
yourself.
within the fetish, like just like I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense.
Well, I think if you look at like
Is
maybe
it,
like,
I mean, it's just perception at that point, right?
well, maybe like, well, yeah, but say like if you're like you have a powerful position, like you're a cop, or you're like a boss of like a company, and you're very like, in charge. I would think that you would probably be more submissive in the bed, and probably more apt to doing some feminization and emasculation type things. And
Like your personal life.
yeah, I would think so.
That's interesting.
I would think most people that are real dominant in their normal day-to-day lives are probably super submissive in bed. And
That's interesting.
And I think that
like there's a lot of that in the sex work industry for sure. Like I never really thought about it like going outside of that. Like that's really interesting.
So like you think, well, I mean, maybe when we had Mistress Lux on, it would have been.
Well, like we kind of talked about it there with her too, but like I know a lot of people, like I'm very open online and in real life. Why won't it let me type prude? What the fuck? What the fuck is I was like, pride isn't even a word. Pride is definitely a word. I know a lot of people in the sex industry where like what they do in the bedroom is like saved for their partner, you know what I mean? And they don't really incorporate that into their work. Like,
no, that makes sense. I mean, I guess
like the age old thing where like, oh, like I don't kiss, like that that kind of thing where it's like I'm very dominant with work and I'm very submissive like for my man or my woman because like that's our thing.
Gotcha.
I tried to keep a thing when I first started, like it was gonna be anal. Like my thing was anal. Like I was saving boyfriend, like I was saving anal for my partner. Like that's what I was gonna do, and it didn't last but like 6 months.
So then you just started doing anal.
Now I'm like anal, yeah, I'll do anal. Cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, continue. I'm making a lot of polls right now.
Hold on. But I mean, getting back to emasculation and not necessarily talking with like guy friends, but like I know a lot of men out there that probably feel that way to where, your girlfriend or your wife kind of browbeats you, like, say like when you were younger and you were living with your buddies or still at home, but you could kind of do what you want. Like, you could come home and drink a couple beers or drink a couple sodas, but when you come home, your wife wants you to drink water and milk, and she kind of
Water and milk.
Yeah.
Sit down. You haven't had your. What was that noise?
I didn't hear a single noise.
Okay, go ahead. You didn't hear
broke
that?
a guy's dick once.
That?
No.
Oh, okay. No, didn't hear
Go
that.
ahead.
I don't know what I was saying. I lost train of thought.
I'm sorry.
You're-
I'm sorry. It was like really screeching, like a car crash. Like really.
Well, I mean, you're on the 3rd floor, so if it's a car crash, you're all right.
That was like straight in my ears. Okay, continue with whatever.
Oh, I do have a car crash sound effect, but I didn't hit it.
You didn't?
No. I mean, I can
Okay.
hit it now if you want to hear it. Just so you know that it wasn't me.
No, it was like, but like not. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Continue. They're just
Well,
really
we are
like,
getting
scared
close
me.
to Halloween. Maybe it's a witch.
I mean, I'm a witch, so
Well.
whatever.
Be truth be told.
God, I can't focus tonight. Fuck.
So we are on this weather website, and doing some research, learning about emasculation and how I kind of came to where we're gonna end up. It was all a step ladder process, if you will. So I decided that when I was looking up emasculation and learning about it, I wanted to look up, ways for like if there was like a step-by-step guide for women to emasculate men. And we're not going to read all these because, it's only the real first one and all men should watch out for. But I don't necessarily want to read the whole thing. It just says step 1, get him to love you. And if you're a girl or a guy that does this to people to where you can get somebody to fall in love with you real quick and you kind of don't have those same feelings, but you use them and kind of get your way, I think that's kind of shitty.
I think I know a lot of people that not like intentionally. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
like the first article kind of touches on like, oh, if you're with a super emotional man who like cries at every movies and falls in love with every girl he's ever banged, like I know a lot of guys like that, and in turn I know a lot of females that date those guys who really don't have that like, oh, I'm gonna emasculate him personality, but like in turn it happens, and then like all this time goes by, and then do you know what I mean?
So
and
like,
then it's just like a thing.
So they don't necessarily realize it, but that's their type.
Yeah.
Ah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
and then
you.
like in turn they continue to emasculate these men who like aren't realizing that they're being emasculated, and then time goes on, and then you can always tell who, like, you know what I mean? And the woman starts being really bitchy because he's like more feminine now, but like you kind of like pushed him along that way like this whole fucking time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
And then you like throw him to the curb because you're like, oh, you're not a man. Like you did that, bitch. Like fuck off. Like
yeah, like if like I get it. Like most dudes are kind of gross, and you know we're not necessarily gonna clean underneath our fingernails because we don't kind of think about that. You know what I mean? We don't look at our fingernails. I know a lot of girls paint their nails. My wife paints her nails. She's fucking pretty fantastic at it, as a matter of fact. Just a little humble brag. Not really, but because I don't have anything to do with it. She's got her own talents. But I lost train of thought thinking about how awesome my wife is. Oh yeah, guys being gross. So I mean, if you're gonna bitch at your guy and just be like, you need to take a shower, you stink. It's like sometimes like when a guy comes home, the first thing he doesn't want to do is take a shower because he's just gotten done standing or, you know, driving a truck and he wants to sit in a comfortable chair, so he wants to go to his recliner or some bullshit.
yeah.
Like if you're gonna nitpick like little things like that, that's emasculating. That's like
I have a friend like that right now.
I know girls and some guys too. Like, you know, the whole there's always that guy that's like, oh, your buddies will joke with him and call him Captain Save-A-Ho, the guy that always dates strippers because he thinks that they can save them and pull them out of the clubs, but they never do. But I don't know. Where was I going?
I know a girl like that. Like her man will get home dirty as fuck, like covered in like oil or dirt or whatever, and like he'll touch her, like kiss her, and she's like, no, wash your hands, take a fucking shower, you're fucking disgusting. And like I'm always like, that's rude as fuck. Like fuck you, why the fuck are you talking to him like that? Like you just got home from fucking work, like settle the fuck down. Like
Yeah.
the fuck, I hate that shit. Ew, take a fucking shower, sit the fuck down, bitch. What the fuck did you do all day? You know what I'm saying? Like fuck off.
I mean, if you're working in like a barn with around, you know, manure, I get it. But I mean, if you're coming home in like oil and you just kind of smell like kerosene, give the fucking guy a break.
Right? Like, ew. Okay, whatever. Next.
So, really, like, I'm just the whole emasculating thing. Like, men. Like, this is specifically me talking to dudes. Like, if you're the type of guy, like as I was when I was younger, who was thirsty, who really wanted to be with a girl and, you know, was willing to put up with a lot of that shit, that's not going to do anything for your confidence, because more than likely, like Creep said, she's going to end up breaking up with you and you're going to move on to the next gal, and you're just not going to have that man confidence that a lot of girls want. Now, sure, there might be some men or some women out there that want that, you know, super sensitive dude that cries at movies. I cry at movies. I'm just I'm everybody, like, I can see a sad movie and it might make me cry. It just doesn't make me less of a man. I just fucking, I guess I'm a bitch. Creeps making goofy faces. No, not necessarily crying. I don't know.
I forget you can see me.
I can. But the one thing that I will say that a woman can not necessarily emasculate a man on, but can kind of like maybe bitch or complain about a man, is if, like, for me, I trim up my pubes. Trim them, I shave them. I like to do that. I trim them, I shave them. You know, you just can't fucking try to shave a fucking bush because it's going to get razor burn, you're going to get bumps. You got to trim it and you got to shave it, fellas. Now, I did something kind of, this is totally off topic, but it's in the grooming variety, and I figured it's kind of a funny story. So I was taking a shower today and I was cleaning up down there, and I was like, you know what? Fucking going with the landing strip.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
My
That's
dick
so
and
funny.
pube area looks like it's got a mohawk.
Your dick has a mohawk? I'm dead.
Next thing it's gonna do is it's gonna dye it pink. It's gonna have pink hair. It's gonna listen to punk music, get some piercings. It looks ridiculous.
Oh my god!
And the only reason why I did it is because I really want my wife to laugh because it's so funny.
Oh my god!
But going back to the topic at hand, emasculation, feminization. It's not me. It's not feminine for me to trim a fucking landing strip. It's me being funny. It's hilarious. My wife is gonna have a laugh, and then she's gonna tell me to shave it because it looks stupid.
She's gonna suck it.
All
Sorry,
right,
that too far.
No, that's the
hope.
hope.
Suck it.
No. One of my favorite moves. One of my favorite moves to let my wife know that I'm in the mood.
Oh Jesus! Do I even want to hear this?
Yeah, it's funny. Okay. So she'll go like, we'll go to bed or whatever, and she'll go to the bathroom, and I always make sure if I know I'm in the mood, I'll make sure I go upstairs, brush my teeth real quick before she gets up there. So she'll go upstairs, and then she'll come into the bedroom, and I have my dong hanging out, and I'm like slowly stroking it, looking at her with this intense look on my face, like, and it works.
Oh God!
It works 66% of the time, all the time.
Works. Oh God!
But so the whole fetish of emasculation, which kind of is more of a feminization, forced feminization, I guess. Have you ever been with a man that wanted to be feminized?
I mean, I don't know. I've been with a lot of feminine men that thought they were masculine as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I've been with a lot of fucking dumbasses that are like, oh my God. Like, every guy I've ever dated has cared about their hair and spent more time in the bathroom getting ready than I do and had more shoes and clothes than I do. And, like, fucking, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but
I always end up dating super feminine guys. They're like, oh my God, there's a fucking hair on my chin. Oh my God, my whole day is ruined. Oh my God, now I'm depressed as fuck. Like, I've dated a lot of men like that, but then in turn, they're like really controlling and like manipulative and like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've never dated a guy who's like a happy medium, who's just like masculine or like feminine or whatever. Like, does that make sense?
It sounds like you date sociopaths.
I mean, I have for sure. Like, definitely. So like, I don't know. Like, I've never been with like a normal person. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. So
what's normal? Like, just missionary?
Like, normal for me is like not abusive. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's sad.
Normal for me is like not a psychopath. Like, I've never been with somebody who wasn't a fucking psychopath or a sociopath or just like fucking abusive as shit. Like, I've never been with somebody who's just like somebody, like, ever. So I don't know.
Well, I'm a narcissist.
I mean, we all are.
I mean, I am a self-admitted narcissist. I told my wife. She knows.
I told my wife.
Well, like, look, like, I tell her, like, look, I was in a band. That means I want people to see me do something fun or cool. I'm
like, look at this hair flip, bro.
Right. I do a couple different podcasts. I do this one in BGST, which this is the main one. BGST is, they're, 9th, 10th in the back. Creeps taking pictures again.
Like,
but no, like, for real. Like, I mean, if you're in any sort of like entertainment industry, you're gonna be a bit of a narcissist. So.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But the difference for me is that, like, people think I do what I do for attention. Like, I need attention and therefore I get naked on the internet. Like, no, not at all. But I will spend 6 hours looking at my nudes because I think I'm hot sometimes. You know what I mean? So, like,
no, I
there's
get
a difference,
that.
right?
No, I mean, I take a dick pic and I look at it and I'm like, yeah.
Like, there's a difference, right? Like, that's not, like, that's being narcissistic, right?
Yeah, looking at, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, if I take a dick pic or a few of them to make sure I get a good angle if I want to send it to my wife,
Oh my God,
and
we
then
need
I'll
to
look
have
at
a
my dick
quiz.
and
Like,
go, you know
oh my
what?
God, I have such a good idea we need to talk about after this.
Oh, but I'll take dick pics and I'll be like, you know what? That's a good one right there. I'm happy with that picture. But I only have one saved on my phone because it's perfect.
It's that good.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Oh, I'm dead.
I'm not saying I'm, I'm just saying I'm all right, but like I'm okay.
I almost spit all over my fucking cue.
But my picture, it makes it look like I got some girth.
Oh my god, this is horrible. I hate this.
So you never had a guy, you never dated a guy that wanted to like dress up in panties and have you kind of do the whole like make him wear makeup and stuff like that. Like that's not.
I mean, like again, like it's always been like a mix.
So he
like sexually, like I've been with guys who like wanted me to be super fucking dominant and they wanted to be super fucking submissive, but then like also they wanted to like
wear your
beat
panties
the fuck
or
out of
something?
me
Oh.
and like be the dominant one. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
but like a switch, like I mean like a switch, but like honestly, like it's always been like both. It hasn't just been like, oh, I'm with this. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Somewhat. I mean, it's not like it doesn't make sense. I get what you're saying, but like
I don't know how to like answer it because that's all I know.
okay, so
I don't know if that like
let me ask you
relates
this. Would it relate to if a guy that you were with said, "Hey, let me wear your panties while I bang you"? Like, would that fall under feminization category, or more of him just being like, I kind of like wearing ladies' panties?
I feel like that because to me, like being emasculated is like everything. Like I know that there's a fetish or whatever, but there's a fetish for anything. I can say picking my nose is a fucking fetish, but in general, like I'm still picking my nose. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So to me personally, I just don't see emasculation as just a fetish. I see that as like a general term too. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I know there's a fetish for it and I get that, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I'm just agreeing to agree.
Do I not know what I'm talking about?
You might, but I don't understand it.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know. So I don't fucking know. I have no fucking idea.
Well, so in this journey of mine, as I was reading into emasculation, I had learned that emasculation, the proper definition of emasculation, when you take aside the fetish of it, you put aside the you can't hang out with your friend's side of it. Emasculation in itself is
the literal term.
The literal term. I did not know this. This is me being not necessarily ignorant, but I guess the better term would be stupid. It says emasculation of a human male is the removal of the penis and testicles, the external male organs. See, I did not know that. Did not know that. I knew that men do that. I knew that it was in the transgender community when, you have a transgendered woman that does the full transition to where she gets the surgery. But I always just what's the word I'm looking for? I always just understood it as sexual reassignment surgery, SRS for short. See, I didn't know that.
I don't think that it would be. I think that that's a very like. I don't know how to say it. Like, I think that if you walked up to somebody who was transgendered and instead of saying like, "Oh, you're trans," you said, "Oh, you're emasculated," like that doesn't also make sense. Like that's still like not correct.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
I know what you're trying to say. You're not gonna walk up to a trans woman who's had the surgery and say you're emasculated. That's not what. I don't think that's what that is.
Yeah, no.
We're talking about like, I guess maybe emasculation would maybe be
like
more.
I just think it's a very outdated.
Maybe it's like a form of torture.
I think it's from like the fucking Bible ages where like
it is.
People really got their dicks and balls chopped off and they're like, oh, you're emasculated. Like I think if you use that term now in a literal sense, it would be like, bro, like you should probably kill yourself right now. Like fuck off. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry guys. Sorry, my bad. But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think you can say that now in a literal sense.
Well, no, but I mean back then it was emasculation was probably more of like in the lines of torture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like knights and dragons and shit. There was probably torture.
Could you imagine being emasculated literally by a dragon? That would be like awesome. Like I wouldn't mind. I'd be like, sure, take my dick, whatever. Like it's fine. Like whatever.
Now let me preface this question. After the dragon emasculates me, does he become my dragon friend and I get to ride him?
Yeah. Do you mean like a dragon friend and you get to ride him, or do you mean like a friend and you get to ride him?
Like fucking
Like Pete
like
and his
Pete's Dragon.
Pete the Dragon, or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck
Pete's
it's called.
Yeah, Pete's Dragon. I fucking love Pete's
Yeah.
Dragon. Like that. You hang out with him, he fucking, flies you around and shit and does tricks for you. He's like, ooh, he's invisible now. Holy shit. I got a fucking
Like
invisible
that's
dragon.
a cool concept. Like he takes your dick as like, okay,
That's like
you're
your
real.
Not
You know what
necessarily,
that's like you're fucking you forfeit your dick to be his friend.
Yeah, that's kind of like payment.
That's dope. I would watch that movie.
No, this is real life.
I know, but I would watch that movie.
So would I.
But I also kind of want to see a dragon cut somebody's balls off.
No, he bites it.
I can't focus tonight.
Listen, if
Bite
we're
it
talking
off,
about dragons,
whatever. It's been a night, man.
it has.
Oof,
Especially
they
our
only
pre-show.
fucking knew, right? We just casually, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, emasculation.
Hey, we're talking about dragons biting off a guy's.
Emasculation. So I want to point out that on this fucking emasculation fucking site, do you see the picture? So for a visual for you guys, it's a child without a dick.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's a child.
It's a eunuch, right? A
Yeah.
eunuch of the Qing Dynasty, China. This child victim is missing
Oh.
all external genitalia.
Wait,
They cut that shit off.
Hold on a second. Am I going to get in trouble? Is this child porn?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like that too. But I mean, he doesn't have genitalia, so technically it's not porn. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's still a naked boy.
Okay, I'm getting off that page right now.
But it's Wikipedia, so it's their fault, not ours. Hey, we're using
But no,
them
it's
for
not porn. It's educational. Like, nobody's like, oh my God, I'm jacking off to this. Like, that's fucking disgusting. Like,
Well,
nobody
yeah.
fucking do that. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like this just went
Sure.
way too fucking far, and I need to shut up now before I, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, on the feminization, that picture is, like, really cool to me.
Yeah, because it's a man dressed as I would guess I was going to say like a French maid, but not really. More of like I don't know. What would you call that ensemble that this male is wearing? Because it is feminine wear.
It's like,
Says
it's like
male and feminine.
schoolgirly, office-y, but also, like,
Dominatrix-y.
dungeon-y.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
dungeon-y.
mean?
I like
Like-
that.
it's really cool.
Maybe I'll drop all these links in the show description so everybody can click and you can kind of like read along. Like, remember those old school read along books?
Yeah, I feel insanely uncomfortable right now. Moving on.
Well, learning more about emasculation, I learned actually this week that there's a term that I cannot pronounce. It is a word that I will have Bethany say. If I can just, get her to say it.
What is it? I can get it to say it.
Well,
No.
Farfafin.
Fa-fa-fin. Now, fa-fa-fin is a term that I learned just this week. Now, I'm going to kind of read the Wikipedia, so this is not the whole thing, but just kind of like this first paragraph, because this is kind of where you get the whole gist of what a fa-fa-fin is, and I'll kind of, wrap it up, I guess. But a fa-fa-fin are people who identify themselves as having a third gender or non-binary role in Samoa, American Samoa, a recognized gender identity role in traditional Samoa society and an integral part of Samoan culture. A fa-fa-fin are assigned male at birth, so basically it's a baby boy, and explicitly embody both masculine and feminine gender traits in a unique way to Polynesia. So basically, what they're saying is these fa-fa-fins is that,
Is a Samoan boy raised as girls?
right, that there is more boys on these islands than women. So in order for the women work to be done, they will raise, the youngest boy as a girl. Now, this necessarily doesn't technically fall into emasculation, but in a way it kind of does, because you would normally have a little boy grow up to be a little boy and then into a teenager into a man. Now, that's not to necessarily say that he may not grow up to be a gay boy or a gay man, but I think in the traditional sense, I think that when you raise a child that way, it's technically emasculating him.
This sounds tricky. It sounds like we're crossing lines we're not trying to cross. Do you know what I'm saying? It sounds like...
I'm not trying to say like it's wrong because it's not my culture. I'm just saying if I'm looking at it as an outsider, I would say, okay, I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong because that's your thing. That's your culture. I'm not trying to change anything about what these people are doing. I would just say, look at it.
So in terms of like... The child, like,
if you look at it
a boy,
clinically,
if he's not deciding, hey, I'm a woman, like his family is deciding he's a woman.
Yeah, they're deciding for him.
Like that's different because it kind of sounds like, oh, he wants to be a woman and they're raising him as a woman and like, oh, that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I mean, no, if they're like, if they're just deciding what the fuck gender he is, that's the same thing as like people deciding like what gender you are now, like in the whole like fucking thing of it. Wow, I'm just gonna shut up because
no, you're making sense. It's like that, you know, that show on TLC, I Am Jazz, where that little boy, he's a transgendered girl, but he was born a boy. But as he grew up, he just always identified as being a girl, wanted to be a girl. So now his parents, God bless them, they let him or now her be a little girl. So
yeah, like that's amazing.
Yeah,
like that makes me happy. Like that, yeah.
But I mean,
but for somebody to just decide, like
that's like I'm not necessarily, like I said, I'm not necessarily saying I don't want to say it's a bad thing because it's not my culture, but because it's not my culture, I don't want to say it's weird, but it's definitely different. It's not something that I don't fully understand, but it was interesting to me that because they don't have enough women on the island to do women work, they're just going to raise the youngest boys out of, you know, however many is in a family as a girl. I just found that to be odd. Like, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that's odd.
But, you know, to each their own. That's what I say. We're like, we're a judgment-free zone. I don't judge. You can do what you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Well, I mean.
I bet then there's me, you know what I mean? So, like, do we really care about that or not? Like,
no, we do.
Oh.
I don't know. So you don't think you never emasculated a man telling him what he can and can't do?
I mean, I don't think so, because I've always been with very dominant, aggressive men. Mm-hmm. Always. Right. I've always been like, if I dare said don't do that, cute, like that's cute, bitch. You know what I mean? And now I feel like that's why I'm like, fuck you, fuck this. I'm not doing that. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Don't fucking do this. Don't tell me what the fuck to do. I'm not fucking that bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
But oh God. But like, now it is what it is. If you're doing something and I don't fucking like it, I'm not going to be a part of that situation. And I'm not going to say, don't do that. I'm just going to say, okay, bye. Like,
no, I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you're
so I don't
yourself.
think I've ever emasculated anybody because I just have either had to have been super submissive or just remove myself from the situation. Like,
so you remember back when you told us how you were on your family vacation with your family and you were texting your boyfriend about, oh, I met this guy and we're going to go to the movies. Do you would think that would kind of fall, not necessarily like total emasculation, but maybe like, you know, like if you were going by a point system, like that would be like a half a point?
Oh my God. I want to do everything in a point system now, literally fucking everything. But I don't know, because in one of these articles, it's talking about why your girlfriend wants you to be insecure and why this is destructive and why it's this and that, which like, I know we're not talking about that yet, but like maybe like get him to love you. Like maybe I used to do that. You know what I mean? Is like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why the fuck I would do that. It really doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know who the fuck that bitch was. Like, bitch, what was you doing? Oh my God, he was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? But I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it was a full ass point. Maybe it was 2 points. I don't know.
We need to.
That hoe was crazy. That hoe was crazy. Like,
no, we all can change. We all can become better people as we get older. I mean, I've certainly I guess, grew up. Not necessarily grew up in the sense of like, I still do stupid shit.
Like, what all is classified as emasculation? Like, obviously saying don't do this, don't do that, but like, what else? Like, is it emasculating that I'm really independent and I won't let anybody help me with anything, even like the man things? Like, do you know what I mean? Is that emasculating? Is it emasculating that like I don't sit the fuck down if somebody tells me to? Do you know what I mean? Like, is that emasculating?
No, I would think that maybe if you're... All right, so say like... Let's use your computer for an example, right?
Okay.
Say like your computer's on the fritz and you call like say like your next door neighbor and you become good pals with them, and as I've said before, guys can't be friends with girls because they just want to fuck them.
Mm-hmm. Not the topic at hand, but okay. Get me going on another damn tangent.
But I think, I think there's two different types of emasculation. If you're not in the relationship with this person, then maybe your emasculation could be considered you maybe being a bitch.
Because like I'm genuinely like curious, because maybe I emasculate men all the fucking time and I just don't realize that I'm fucking doing it. Like maybe I'm generalizing it as like one specific thing that I would never do, but like it's so many other things that I do. Like I don't know.
Well, it in one of the articles it says like it's you're enforcing your will.
Like maybe I do that. Like I can be manipulative as fuck. I can be fucking manipulative with the fucking best of them. You know what I mean? Like maybe I do that unintentionally sometimes. I don't know.
Well, I guess manipulation, if you're using a guy's feelings to manipulate him into getting what you want, that I guess that would kind of fall under the emasculation.
Does that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everybody to some extent does that. So like at what extent is it like bad?
I guess all. I mean, if you look at it in the grand scheme, if we take a step back and look at it, I guess like any sense of it would be wrong.
Like I'm not challenging you. This is just the shit I think about all the time. I'm
I know
to what degree? Like, is it that? You know what I mean? So that makes sense if it's just like all of it. Like that makes sense.
I mean, I think everything, like any sort of relationship, whether
is anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using anybody's feelings to get your way, it's it's a shitty thing. Whether
like we made everything up. To me, in my mind, we made everything up. Like everything is fucking made up. Time isn't real. Days aren't real. People aren't real. Do you know what I'm saying? Like gender isn't fucking real. Nothing's fucking real. So like, are you really even being emasculated, or are you just not standing up for yourself?
I think that's
you know what I mean?
Well, you said that your friend dates guys who are basically pushovers.
Yeah.
So if you're seeking out to be with a guy that's a pushover, you want to have that control in the relationship at all times. So you set that friend would set herself out to always coming across as being emasculated.
Are you not taking your own fault in being emasculated? Like in situations where I've been abused, like that's my fault. Like I like that situation. Like that brings excitement. Like that, you know what I mean? Like I know when I'm putting myself in a situation.
Right.
I know when somebody's treating me bad, and if I stay in a bad situation, like that's partly my fault too.
Right.
Like, are you not
thing.
kind of emasculating yourself in that sense?
I don't necessarily.
Am I getting like way off? Because now I'm like my brain's really like turning. Like I don't know.
Well, no. I mean, if we're gonna figure out this whole emasculation thing, I guess it would fall under everything.
Yeah.
I think so. I think if you're, but I think emasculation is
like an intentional.
Yeah, more intentional.
Okay.
Not necessarily unintentional. But if you're intentionally doing shit,
okay,
like I said, like if a guy goes out with his friends,
get humor in it. Like if I emasculate a man and it's secretly I'm like, the power is mine. You know what I mean? Like that. Like that's fucked up.
That's
obviously,
straight
so like
emasculation. That's definitely making a man feel less than. Like I mean, even when I was younger, I was a pushover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get that. Like I said, like. I knew I was doing it. I was aware of it, but because I wanted to be in a relationship and I wanted to have companionship because I was that type of guy, I put up with it. And I think that's how most men who are emasculated are, and most men that will admit to it.
That makes sense. Because a lot of the guys that I know that would be like emasculated, like definitely are like, oh my God, please love me. Somebody love me. I need to be loved right now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I get that, I guess. I don't know. Sorry. I just really like a bitch deep in thought. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a conversation that's interesting.
So, okay. That's fucked up. I just read this thing. Girls like to make their man feel insecure because it makes them feel more confident.
I would think that would probably be
If
true.
they can make you needy, they feel better. I mean, to some degree, like, sure, I'm like that to some degree sometimes. Like, aren't we all?
Needy?
No, like, don't we all want to feel like, not all the time and not in like a super broad all the time, like, this is my personality sense, but at some point or another, like, don't we all kind of want our partners to be needy in some way? Like, don't we all kind of like want to make them feel insecure about something sometimes?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not saying all the time, but you can't say that like you've never done that. Do you
No,
know what I mean? In like any relationship.
Yeah. Right? I don't know. That's a weird, not weird, but a hard thought.
This is why I don't have friends. Like, fuck off. Like,
why? Because you ask hard questions that not everybody can answer?
I just like always want to know. Like, I want to get it. Like, I want to get everything, and then I don't get it, and then I don't know. I'm a very obsessive person. Maybe you know that. Weird. Like, I just want to know. I want to like understand.
Well, I mean,
like, okay, if you're with a girl who seems intent on destroying your self-esteem, then talk to her about it.
most guys wouldn't talk to her about it.
Has that ever worked out ever?
No.
I'm feeling like you're trying to make me like feel really insecure and like that's not gonna fucking happen. Like,
well, I think if you're real meek like that and you approach your partner like that, they're not gonna take you serious.
But like, if somebody's emasculating you, they already don't take you fucking seriously. Like, they already know that they can walk the fuck all over you.
Well, that's why you got to put the kibosh on it early.
I feel like you're destroying my self-esteem. Like, obviously, they're gonna be like, no, you're making yourself feel like that. Don't put that on me. Like, it's manipulation. Like, still.
Well, yeah,
right?
It is.
Like, no, I would never look at somebody and be like, yeah, I emasculated you.
Well, no,
Do you know what I mean?
But
I'm like so animated right now. Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
And I'm the one that said that I was bumping rails at the beginning of the show. I'm starting to mellow out.
Oh, God.
My thoughts are getting slow. I don't know.
Okay, let me ask this. If you had a friend and you were like, wow, he's really being emasculated right now, would you tell him?
Yeah.
Or would you not tell him?
I would be like, dude, maybe if I was like, all right, when I was in my teens, probably not.
Really?
But in my 20s, yeah.
What would you say?
I'd be like, dude, why is your girl talking to you like shit? Like, your girl is talking to you like shit. The whole buddy thing and her not being happy that a guy's out with her friends, I would be like, dude, tell her to fuck off. You're out with your friends. You're not cheating on her. We're at the bar watching the game, or we're at wherever doing whatever. We're not doing anything shady.
Yeah.
Like, I would be blunt
this
now.
gets me into like why I don't believe like relationships, like weird shit. Like, oh my God, this just opens up like so many doors for my mind right now. I don't know why.
You don't know why.
So yeah, you would tell them.
Yeah, you would have. I would. In the past, I haven't, but I would now. It's only right.
Yeah?
Yeah, you have to.
So.
Whoops, wrong button.
Oh, I was like, okay, whatever. Do your thing, boo.
I don't know. Emasculation.
I didn't mean to go off like this.
No,
like, I really did not mean to go off like this. Like.
That's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do. Say what you gotta say. What's on your mind?
Control the visitation.
Yeah, there's a lot of dumb things. Like, the main thing in that list was the whole thing, make him love you. Because if you're like I said, if you're a guy that's thirsty, wanting to be in love and wanting to have love, and a girl thirsts on having her being in control of everything in the relationship, she's going to manipulate you. You got to watch out for the warning signs, fellas.
How much time do we have right now?
We have 5 minutes exactly to the very end of the hour.
I went off too much. I have questions.
Well, rapid
well,
fire.
mainly,
them.
I was just going to say, like, what are some main things for people to look for to tell, like, if they're in a really shitty relationship like that where their girl or guy is trying to emasculate them?
Well, I mean,
like, do we have, like, points, like, real quick ones to, like...
Well, obviously, the real quick ones is, like, if a girl makes you choose her over other things. That is a huge red flag. If she's like, if she's giving you ultimatums that are, unfair, that put you out and make you definitely feel like shit because it's like, yeah, you want to go hang out with your friends or do something else that you have planned, and she's giving you that ultimatum. Well, it's either them or me. 10 times out of 10, bro, or chicks or whomever, fucking tell them then it's not you, and then go do your thing, because you're never going to get out of that hole for the rest of your dating life until you put your foot down. That's how I met my wife, because when I met her, I was fucking done. I didn't want to fucking date. I was fucking done. I was fuck you. I didn't want to fucking date. I didn't want to be with anybody. I was on this fuck you train. I didn't want to be with anybody because of the ex. But that's for a whole nother day. But
yeah, we should talk about that next week.
As you get older, you see these little warning signs, red flags, and if you assert your, not necessarily your dominance, because that's not, I don't want it to be dominance. But if you assert yourself and say, hey, I don't like the way you talk to me, or I don't like the way you give me this ultimatum, that shit needs to stop, because if it doesn't, this isn't going to work. And if you put it out there right at the beginning, when you see these little red flags, it could change, and then you could have a great relationship.
Oh, definitely. I agree with that. In, like, terms of anything ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
Oh,
my God. We just agreed on something.
We didn't agree on shit. I just agreed because the end of the show was near. I didn't want to have a fucking another discussion because I couldn't. Had to wrap it up. Got an hour time slot, and we got 3 minutes. Actually, less than 3. We have 2. If you guys have thoughts on this emasculation topic, whether you want to tell me I'm dead wrong and that it's okay for you to tell your boyfriend or girlfriend who and she you can go hang out with, email us.
Oh my God. You come to me with that shit, I'll kill you, bitch. Fuck that.
Ooh, that's fucking death threats, folks. But, yeah, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Chris Steele. That's MrKrisSteel. Creep, where can our friends find you to talk to you about emasculation?
Follow me on Twitter at CreepXQueen, or go to my website, creepqueen.com.
What about Snap?
Nope. Fuck it. If they didn't hear it in the beginning, fuck them.
Yeah, if you skip through the intros, that's your own fucking fault. But if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, you could either leave us an email at doublepodcast@gmail.com, or, because it's been a little bit, if you want to verbally abuse us, then you could leave us a voicemail, 231-794-2729. Leave that voicemail, we'll play it on the air, and you might be a drop like our friend Gabba Flo in his doggy style. Or Cass and Breaking Dicks. And that's it.
That's it.
I don't got nothing else to say. Oh, sorry for missing last week, folks. Sometimes shit happens.
I asked if anybody's ever been emasculated, and somebody said, I've done this to my husband, and I'm currently transitioning him to a sissy role. Damn, bitch, she's real as fuck. Oh,
but
God.
Wow. But that's what she likes. She wants her man to be in a sissy
so
role.
Real.
Hey.
That's real. I respect that real rawness shit. Go, y'all. Woo.
You heard it here, folks. folks, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for rating and reviewing. I want to thank you for not emasculating me because I'm your friend. And I want to thank you for being a friend. See you later.
Don't talk to them like, no, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
Hello, I am your announcer, Bethany. Please remember to rate and review 5 stars on iTunes. Rating and reviewing helps out the show. Thanks for listening to the Double Penetration Podcast with your hosts, Creep and Steele, on Demon Seed Radio Network.
Motherfucker.